So today we're going to be looking at the world's smallest Masters of the Universe. Now there's 4 of these figures. We have He-Man, Skeletor, Tila, and Battle Cat. Now these figures come in this like security plastic, you know, the really tough stuff, and I actually really don't like this kind of plastic, or this kind of packaging at least, but I totally get it with these because I mean they're so tiny. Can you imagine if they were in a blister? Like, people would be taking these so easily. So it's actually a good thing that they have it on this, so that way people aren't stealing these things. On the top, we have the world's smallest logo. Actually, it's not really the world's smallest logo, but it's the logo to the world's smallest. And it has He-Man on the top, so it have the character. And this He-Man is from Filmation, so it's the cartoon He-Man. And then, of course, we have He-Man in a little plastic blister. And we saw this with the other world's smallest figures, the Transformers and the G.I. Joes. Then we have the Masters of the Universe logo on the bottom, along with a picture of the world's smallest He-Man. We have a QR code that'll send you to superimpulse.com. We have the logo again, Masters, in the back of the small blister. Collect them all, and it has the 4 figures. And it also has a little tab so you can open and take out your figure. And then on the bottom, again, we have He-Man, and then we have the other, we have the 4 figures along the bottom. So each of the figures do have their own Filmation version on the corners. So you get that, and then at the bottom you do get the picture of each one of the figures. And then with Battle Cat, it's a little different. I mean, the packaging is the same, but Battle Cat does come in a box, so that's pretty cool. Back is the same, you know, you get the Filmation Battle Cat right there. But we'll take a closer look at this when we open them up, which we're gonna go ahead and do right now. And here they are, the world's smallest Masters of the Universe. We got He-Man, Tila, Skeletor, and of course Battle Cat. So that is what the packaging, the little mini blister, looks like. It is plastic, which is really nice. And then of course there's a little tab back here so you can open it, take out the figure. It's really awesome. I really like these things. So especially when you have them in your hand, they're pretty sweet. Of course, these guys come with accessories, and they also articulate, so let's go ahead and take a look at all that. We'll go ahead and start off with the most powerful man in the universe, He-Man. His hand, his arms. Oh, it feels like I'm gonna break it, so I'm gonna move it. And then I believe his head, yeah, his head turns too. So there's that, and then of course he has his armor, which I believe, it looks like it's glued in the back. But his armor is a separate piece. Can't really get him to stand, but what's really cool about these, at least from my experience with the G.I. Joe ones and the Transformers, So the really cool thing about these is that they do come with little figure stands in case yours has a crooked foot like mine. But I mean, there he is. He's standing now. But we also have his other accessories. So we have his battle axe. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. Very softly. He can hold it. Comes off pretty easily. And there's also his shield, which is kind of, you can put his hand kind of through it and then just kind of clip it on. So that's his shield. And then of course he does have to come with the power sword. So go ahead and put the power sword on him. And just like the other, just like the, you know, the vintage one, the sword does have that little, you know, little guard right there. And then he also comes with an itty bitty tiny knife. So I guess that's the knife that he's supposed to wear in his boot if it was the comic version from like the, you know, the first comics. But I don't know where else he's supposed to have it besides, you know, just in his hand. So let's go ahead and try to put that on there. It's so tiny to there. He's holding the itty bitty knife that if this was to fall like on the ground, that's it. It's over. So that thing will be lost forever. So yeah, there's He-Man. So pretty cool. I can't stop messing with this thing, but that's probably how you lose all the little pieces. So yeah, there's itty bitty He-Man with his packaging. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at Tila. So same thing, just open her up. She does come with the blister, the bag with the accessories, packaging right there. There's Tila with her snake armor. Of course, you can move her hands, or her arms, I should say. This time her legs are definitely much better than the He-Man, and then I'm sure the head turns because it does say 3 points of articulation, so the legs don't move. But there is itty bitty Tila and her accessory. She comes with, of course, the figure stand, a shield, and a staff, the snake staff. So God, this thing is so much thinner than I thought. This is thinner than a toothpick right here. It's so small. So I'm afraid I'm gonna lose some of these parts, but then you just gotta be careful when you're messing with them. These are pretty neat, and there's, of course, there's other ones. There's G.I. Joe. There's the Transformers. There's the Ninja Turtles. So she's trying to get her foot on the foot peg, and you could. It's like barely like a little pin prick for the peg hole on her foot. There. Alright, so get her shield on. Her shield is just a little itty bitty tiny. Oh my gosh, I keep. That's how tiny these things are. There. A little clasp. It'll go around her wrist, hopefully. I mean, the good thing is that the rubber on these things, or the plastic, or whatever you want to call it, is really soft. So it'll bend if you need it to. And then, of course, the snake staff. Just gotta slide it in. There it goes. So see, mine has a little bit of extra plastic on there, and even that made it a little bit harder to put it in, but once it got in, it's in. So there's Tila. She's looking pretty cool as a tiny version of herself. Alright, let's move along with Skeletor, the only bad guy in this thing. So there's Skeletor. This arm is pretty loose, but he has, of course, the arm articulation. He has the head movement, the separate armor, and then the separate little skirt piece. But it's glued on there. So, and then for his accessories, we have another itty bitty knife. So same thing as He-Man, the tiny itty bitty knife it's just like a little sliver of plastic. There's the power sword, the purple power sword, and this is a little bit harder plastic, so I feel like it could, see, this power sword's kind of bent. You can kind of fix it, but it does feel like it would, like you could snap it in half, so you just gotta be really careful when trying to fix that. And then of course, what would Skeletor be without a bent Havoc staff? For some reason, Havoc staffs are always bent. So and this one is no exception. So I'll try to fix that just a little bit, but it feels like it's gonna snap. So there's the Havoc staff, and then of course he does have his handy dandy figure stand. Oh, it's probably like the best one right there. That fit right in, feels nice and like it belongs. So we'll do, since that has the guard, we'll put that in his open hand. Usually I would reserve that for shield. That's my personal preference. But he doesn't come with a shield, so we'll do the hand. So he has that, and then Havoc staff on the other hand. And of course, he doesn't come with the knife in the original, so... but the Havoc staff, it's loose. So... it's just barely hanging on there. So... but that is Skeletor right there. And now for the one that... I feel like this one's the most interesting because it comes in a box. But now... we have Battle Cat. So there's the typical image from the cartoon, or the new image or whatever. But there's Battle Cat. Not too much to him. He's definitely much bigger. And he does come with a box, so you get a little bit extra, I guess, extra plastic or whatever. But there he is, right there, and he does have limb articulation. And also his tail can rotate, and his head. Oh, you can take off the armor. Cool. Just that. You can put his head, and I'm sure you could take off the armor, but I don't want to. I don't want to risk ungluing it or whatever. So, but yeah, it still goes in through the little strap, the buckle, where the strap goes through the buckle, and it comes around and it looks like they glued it at the bottom. But that is Battle Cat. The helmet is removable, which is nice, but it doesn't feel like it really fits. It feels really loose, like it's like I could just shake it off, but it's still pretty cool. I like it. And of course, what everybody wants to know, including myself, will He-Man ride Battle Cat? So let's go ahead and grab him. And yes, he can. Actually, just kind of stretch his legs open, and he can ride Battle Cat. It's pretty cool. It's a little crooked. There you go, just gotta mess with the hind leg. But yeah, He-Man can ride on Battle Cat, so that's pretty sweet. I like it. Again, the helmet's a little loose, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. So these are the world's smallest Masters of the Universe figures. They're really cool little knickknacks. I like them a lot. I like them out of the package. I also like them in the little blisters that they come in. So I actually keep a Snake Eyes on my computer. I just put some sticky tack or poster putty or whatever on my computer, and I just stuck Snake Eyes up there. So but yeah, these are just cool little fun items. They are a little bit expensive for what they are, but I am a fan of Masters of the Universe, and I just had to get my hands on these. Especially that Battle Cat, that was probably the hardest one to find. Skeletor and Tila were pretty easy to get. So I do have other World's Smallest figures. These are the Masters of the Universe figures along with the Transformers, the World's Smallest Transformers, and along with the World's Smallest G.I. Joes, specifically Snake Eyes. On a final note, if you guys do have any of the Masters of the Universe minis, now the first two waves do come with this Castle Grayskull and also Snake Mountain, and these look awesome. It looks like they belong in these two play sets. Now, unfortunately, they don't come with any insides, but I did see a picture where somebody did make a custom one of these little ones, and I mean, if you're collecting all the MoTU minis, you're gonna end up having quite a bit of, you know, Snake Mountains and Castle Grayskulls. So I'm definitely gonna be making a custom little playset for these guys and doing some mini photos or whatever. But I think it's really cool that they look amazing next to these mini play sets, I guess you'd call it. They look way better than with the MoTU minis. Well, if you guys see these things, again, I would recommend them. They're really cool. The price is a little steep, but if you are a Masters fan, it's a nice little knickknack. And you can also pose these guys with your figures. So that's pretty cool. So you can have like He-Man playing with He-Man, and you know, or maybe He-Man can be Skeletor and Skeletor could be He-Man for once, or whatever.